Last time in the Black Clover manga, a devil v devil fight began as Asta and Dante faced off in a battle of ancient power. This chapter, we see the ability that two devils going head to head can produce. Yo, what's going on, Senpai Squad? Welcome back to a brand new video, and today we've got the review for chapter 242 of Black Clover. Now, I'll come out straight away and say that I am as honest as I possibly can be in every single review I make for every single series I make videos on. And this video is no different. I don't have a single flaw with this chapter. Zero. I'd argue probably one of my favourite chapters of the entire series. If you guys know when I used to give my actual ranking out of 5 for a chapter, I very, very rarely gave anything of 5 stars. No matter how good people thought it was, I was very stingy with my 5 stars. Okay, I thought 4 is the max you're usually going to get. This chapter easily gets a 5 out of 5 for me. Like I said, flawless chapter. Before we go more into that, however, I want to kindly ask you guys to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed the chapter, and subscribe if you're not already to become a member of the Senpai Squad and keep along for all of our Black Clover journey. And also be sure to answer today's question of the day, which is, in fact, where do you think Dante's ceiling currently lies? For example, get down in the comment section down below and give me a character which you think Dante is potentially level with. For example, Julius, Yami, the word magic devil. What character do you think he'd go up against evenly, or do you not think such a character exists at this point? Anyway, on to the review. We see Dante's 50% devil form in this chapter as he goes toe to toe with Asta, and he just casually distorts space and time. Every single chapter that goes by with Dante going with his power, his gravity magic, just continuously goes to show how, excuse the pun, demonically powerful gravity magic can be. He effortlessly puts Asta out of commission in one swift movement. He literally just jumps onto Asta's shoulder, increases the gravity, and just plummets him into the ground, completely immobilizing him, like I said, in one simple swift movement before Asta could do anything about it. And this is when Dante's ideals finally start to get expanded on. He believes that humans are supposed to be evil. He believes, as they are the only beings to have developed the emotion of malice, that unlocks the superior form of a human. Which, no matter how much Asta tried to combat those ideologies of Dante, he still lost. Dante supposedly kills Gauche in this chapter by carving a sword made out of rubble using his gravity magic. Now, I'm going to sit on the face with this one. I'll sit on the fence. I'm 50-50. I don't know if he'll be dead. There's no natural healer around that you think could potentially save his life. But it is a shonen at the end of the day, a battle shonen to that. So there's still that slim chance that something could save the day. But I believe in Tabata to not make it so Aspally. But we'll see. I'm sitting on the fence at the minute with Gauche's death. Let me know in the comment section down below if you think he's actually going to stay dead, or if in a similar vein to what happened with some of the Golden Dawn members, if they will come back. But like I was saying, the important detail to take away from this was, in fact, that Dante was proved right. Asta is full of rage, terror, anger, fear, and he does unlock what I presume is the strongest version of himself to date. He almost goes into a primitive version of a demon Asta. An animalistic type expression takes over his body to the point where he's literally salivating at the mouth. At this point, he's no longer human, or no longer the type of human we know, but more like the type of human that Dante believes we should be. Which I also think presumably is what caused his earliest memory, or what I presume is his earliest memory of his parents. And there's a bit of confusion on whether or not this is Asta's father or Asta's mother. Now, I instinctively thought that it was his mother when I read the chapter. However, I've reread it, looked at it a few more times, and I can definitely see the arguments that people are making for it in fact being his father. Without throwing out any gender stereotypes, it could simply be either one. However, I am actually leaning slightly closer to the fact that it is his mother. Firstly, Yuno and Noelle's mothers have both had their lives claimed at the hands of the Dark Triad. And so for that reason, I do think it will be the same for Asta. Obviously, Magicula and indirectly Vanica, I still don't know how to say her name. She is the cause of Noelle's mother's death. With Yuno's case, it's Zeno. And now with Asta, I presume it is Dante. And secondly, with Asta awakening this primitive state of himself and being so full of fear, hatred, anger, sadness, what is the instinctive reaction you have when you are you're terrified, you're scared, you're angry? What is the genuine initial primitive reaction? It is, as silly as it sounds, you say, I want my mummy. Like I said, it sounds stupid, but it's true. And that's why I think he's found the earliest memory he has of her, because he's seen Gauche get killed. He's been effortlessly thrown around the place, really. Nothing he does is working against Dante, and it's drove him to the point where he's scared, he's angry, he's full of fear, he doesn't know what to think, and he activates the primitive instincts within him, and he calls for his mother instinctively in his head, and because she's dead and he doesn't really have many memories of her, he just instinctively remembers his earliest memory, and that just so happens to be, of course, when she's dying. And that ends up with us seeing Asta's brand new transformation. Now, I don't know what we're calling this. I don't know if it's just Black Asta version 2, 60% Asta potentially, Berserk Asta I've seen thrown around a bit, like Primitive Asta, Primeval Asta, so many different possibilities. We're going to have to agree on a name at some point. Maybe we just stick with it as being Black Asta again, but let me know in the comment section down below what you're calling this, if you are calling it something different. But like I was saying, in this new form, he grows a third horn. He starts to develop a second wing, which I'm still certain appeared or started to form way back during the devil fight. You can see, as I put up on screen here in chapter 211, that second wing, it may just be my eyes playing tricks on me, but I can definitely see it. I'm sure I can definitely see that second wing, and I'm sure we haven't seen it since, when he's just been using his Black Asta form normally. I'm sure during the beginning of this Dante fight last chapter, we didn't see it, but now it's there again, and it's either the same size or slightly bigger this time around. And then also a couple minute details as well. For example, his foot now is completely transformed into that of a devil's foot. He's started to sprout these demonic black claws / talons. And overall, like I said, this chapter was just quite simply flawless. I don't think I've ever used that word to describe a chapter since I've started reviewing, but I just loved it that much. There was zero flaws in it, in my opinion. I loved it. My criteria for trying to see what is a flawless chapter, it's always been like the art, which we know is never an issue when it comes to Black Clover. Plot progression, is it slow, quick? Nothing in this chapter felt like filler, nor did anything felt like it was skipped over. Nothing that shouldn't have been skipped over. Everything was brilliant in that department. And then last but not least, does it have that longevity? Is it the type of chapter that when you get your friend starting that series, is it the type of chapter that you keep saying, let me know when you're on chapter 242, I want to know when you're on chapter 242, let me know what you think of chapter 242. Has it got that factor? If it has, you've won me over. I think I'll end my review there. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys had to say. I can't wait for the next chapter. I genuinely don't know what direction Tabata's going to take it in. I'm convinced Asta's not going to win. I'm sure he'll follow in the footsteps of Asta, of Yuno and Noelle, but I just want to see in the manner that he'll lose. That's the thing I'm most interested in. It's not the actual fight, which I'm immersed in right now. It's what's going to happen afterwards, what's going to happen to reach the point of Asta's inevitable loss. I can't wait. I'll see you guys in another video very, very soon. But until then, as always, peace.